Hey guys, it's Bruce here. We're down on the Tennessee River here in Alabama, about to do a little catfishing. Just now getting everything set up. We got bluegill for bait. Gonna cut them up chunks. I already threw this rod out. It's got a pretty good sized bluegill head on it. I'm gonna put a bluegill head on this other rod, and then I'm gonna put a bluegill chunk on the far rod, and we'll go from there and just see what happens. But we'll give it a try. That's the only bait I got is bluegill. I'd much rather have skipjack, but it's all I could get this season with some bluegill real quick for a fishing trip. So we're gonna give it a go and see what we can do. See, big old bluegill head. Bluegill body. Actually, I'm gonna put the body piece in this middle rod holder, since I got a head on this one, and then we'll put a head on the far one. Got a lot of current flow, so should be good. So I got my drag set. I got that bucket sitting way over there because it's got a little bubbler aerator thing on it to keep them bluegill alive, and gets on your nerves sitting over here close to you. Plus, it's all you hear on the video is that bubbler running if it's sitting right by the camera. Like I said, we got cut up bluegill for bait. We're gonna try it here for a little while. It's muggy hot out here. I don't expect we'll have a whole lot of action, but maybe we'll get at least one or two fish. Maybe. We'll just have to see how it goes. Got a few more things I'm gonna get out of the truck. And also, I don't have much of an area right here because I'm right on the side of a gravel road, and sometimes there's a lot of traffic. I'm having to put the camera in the back of my truck. So I'm gonna try to go ahead and get everything out of the truck and not go to the truck as much so the camera don't shake. But sometimes I may not be in frame of the camera because I don't have much room right here. It's kind of narrow. So sometimes I have to put my chair back here, so I may be sitting back. You might not be able to see me, but you'll be able to hear me. But Anyways, we'll figure it out as we go. Maybe there won't be no traffic and nobody stopping to talk or anything like that, and we'll be all right. Like I said, we'll give it a little time and see if we can't catch us one. Hoping for a big flathead or a big blue cat. Them's Madkatz rods that I'm using. The two green ones are goblins, and that middle blue and orange one is a fins, Madkatz fins. The two green ones I won last week in the weekly big fish tournament on the Madkatz page. I won second place, and I won 2 rods and a few other things that hadn't come in the mail yet. I just got those rods. I think they came in, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago, I guess. 2 or 3 days ago, something like that. I can't remember. Never had a fish caught on them. We're gonna try it. Try to get the bad juju off of them. And my light's dying. Let me change batteries real quick. It may get dark for just a few seconds. But I gotta swap this battery out real quick. Or we ain't gonna be able to see nothing. There we go. Sorry about that. I didn't know I must not have charged that battery. Got some good current flow, I know that. It's got them lines stretched tight. Current's good. I caught a lot of good fish when there's current. It blows the scent of the baits down the, pulls the scent down the river with the current of the bait, and then fish, they can key in on it, swim right to it. Something happened. I don't know what. Almost acts like a darn turtle. Just pecking at it. I hope not. I don't want to deal with no turtle. I was down here fishing last week, and I caught a darn big old soft shell turtle. I use a 10-aught Mustad Demon wide gap circle hook. That's what I use. And that darn big old soft shell turtle got that sucker in his mouth and swallowed it. Like, I couldn't get the hook out. I felt bad, but I mean, all I could do was cut the line. But somehow he managed to get the whole darn hook in his mouth and swallow it. And a Mustad Demon 10-aught hook wide gap is a pretty good size hook. But it was a big old soft-shelled turtle though, a big one. I wish we had some skipjack for bait. Or some kind of real scented oily fish, like a carp or skipjack or something of that nature. Bluegill, I've caught a lot of fish on bluegill, but a bluegill's not a real oily scented bait. They lose their scent fast. Especially when the water's warm like this and a lot of current flow, it'll suck that blood right out of there. A bluegill is just don't have a lot of scent like a skipjack or a oily carp or something like that. I use carp, drum, skipjack, bluegill, whatever's legal in the state or the body of water that I'm fishing that is legal for me to use for cut bait or live bait to fish with, I use it. But my #1 preferred bait is skipjack. I've caught a lot of big flatheads and a lot of big blue cats on skipjack head pieces and big skipjack body chunks. My wife, she's caught a lot of big ones on skipjack. That's our favorite bait. Sometimes throughout the year, you can't even get them to hit skipjack. Sometimes they only want certain things. I've caught them on bluegill when I couldn't catch them on anything. And then I've caught them on carp when I can't catch them on anything else. It's just, sometimes fish get in the mood and they just want a certain bait. And it may not always be the headpiece. You may have 2 or 3 head pieces thrown out there and then one body chunk, and you may be catching them on that body chunk the entire time because that's just what they prefer at that time. That's why I try to throw, if I got it, I try to throw different baits. Like I like to have like bluegill and skipjack, or bluegill in a drum, or just something besides the same bait, because sometimes they don't want that particular bait that you're fishing with. And they don't always want the head piece, and they don't always want the body piece. They don't always want the butt piece. Whatever, it's just whatever that fish wants. And some days all they want's a head piece. Some days all they want's a body chunk. Some days all they want's the live bait. You just gotta figure out what they want at that time. And then some days you can catch them on anything you throw out there. Especially when they're feeding up, getting ready for these winter months, and then feeding up, getting ready to start spawning and going on the nest. You can catch them about on any cut bait, because at that point they're trying to build their body fat up, because they're going to be on the nest for a while, or it's fixing to get cold, and fish know that. They're trying to build their body back up. Or when they first come off the nest, they're real hungry. I've caught some good fish in the summertime, but I've caught most of my good fish in the fall months or early spring. Cooler weather makes a difference, believe it or not. But I have caught some big ones in the summertime. Not near as many as I catch in the cooler months. The flathead bite around here right now should be picking up. They're catching them pretty good up at Gunnersville Dam off the wall and stuff like that. So normally when that starts happening, some of the places I'm fishing, about a week or two after that starts happening, up there in Gunnersville, they're catching them. Normally about a week or two I start catching them down the river a ways. I have a little book I have a little notebook at my house. It yay big. It's got all the dates, what type of fish, the weight of the catfish, the date I caught it on, everything. I keep up with all my big fish. That way I can look at that book and I can tell, like, well, from August the 15th to September the 20th, I caught this many fish in this location on this bait. And that's how I've been consistently catching them. And believe it or not, that book that I keep, it's got all that stuff in it. It's pretty close every year. It's pretty accurate. So these fish, they got a schedule they go by. They stay on a pattern year round. They do the same thing about every year. But, you know, the whole spawning situation, it has a lot to do with water temperature too, so that also plays a big role in it. But yeah, I keep a book of all my big fish I catch, just to see if the next year, if it is close or kind of the same bite happening. Are they feeding on the same type of bait? Are they in the same area that I caught a big one in last year? Say I caught one right here, just for instance. Say we catch one right here tonight that weighs 40 pounds. I would write that down and I'd go by tomorrow and see, or next year and see. I'd come back here about that time and say, hey, and see if it works out. See if we catch another one, another big fish around about the same time of year next year in this area. And then you know kind of what's going on and where you need to be certain times of the year. Instead of just running wild, guessing, you keep your little book and go back to those spots every year at that certain time. You can catch them consistently like that most of the time. That's how I do it. That night, I fish. I put in the work. I fish where I know there's fish. And sometimes I wing it. I just go to a spot that I know has fish in that area that I know of people catching, or I might have caught one a couple 100 yards away from that area. And I'll go try new spots like that, but I try to generally stay in close to an area where I know I've caught some decent fish. Like it might not be this exact area. I may go 100 foot that way just to try to see if anything's different there. See if I catch more fish, see if I catch bigger fish. See if maybe there's a hole there, or some logs, some structure or something. That's key on these big fish. Big fish like structure. All fish like structure, but in my opinion, I find myself catching more fish in and around structure than I do just out there in the open flat somewhere. Especially a big flathead. Flathead, they love structure. I've been fishing in spots and people drive by, stop talking to me. It's like, yeah, I don't like fishing here because I get hung up and break my line all the time, this, that, and the other. That's where I want to fish. Because if you're getting hung up out there, there's structure out there. There's something out there that could potentially hold a big fish. And that's what you want to fish. And you can catch a big fish on flat. Like I got a spot that's I've never been hung up there, but one time, and that was right there at the bank. There's a log at the bank. You can see it right there. And I didn't pick my rod up fast enough, and it got hung in the log there. But it's just a flat, and it's like a mussel bed right there. There's a bunch of mussels out there. And I've caught a ton of big fish certain times of the year right there when they're feeding on them mussels. That's where I caught my biggest fish, 80.4 pounds, blue cap. Weighed 80.4. I caught him right there on that big mussel flat. Caught my biggest flathead there, 47 pounds. Caught him on that mussel flat. But it's certain times of the year. And I wouldn't know that if I didn't keep everything wrote down in that book. We really got something playing with this rod right here, this first one. That acts like a dang turtle. Just kind of pecking and pulling a little bit. Most time if it was a gar beat it down like a darn catfish most of the time. Then when he feels that tension, he'll let it go and pop it back up. That's just a steady peck, like a turtle. I hope not. Sit there and peck my bait all to pieces. I got my camera up here in the back of the truck, so if we catch one, we'll get him in, and I'll get my net's laying right down there, so I'll net him, and I'll get the fish back up here in the light, and then I'll get the camera out of the truck, and we'll set it down here on the ground where we get a better look at the fish. We'll just wing it, see what happens. I'm no video expert, like never recorded a video while I was fishing, so this is all new to me. So it's probably gonna be all over the place, but we're gonna let it play out how it really happened. We ain't gonna edit nothing. We're just gonna go with it. What happens, happens. Yeah, all those are Madkatz rods. First one's a Madkatz Goblin, heavy action. Middle one's a Madkatz Fins, heavy action. And the last one's a Madkatz Goblin, heavy action. All of them's got 30-pound main line, trilene big game, mono with 50-pound mono trilene big game with my hooks tied on. Carolina rig. I've had a lot of success with that trilene big game line. I've caught a lot of really big fish with that. Never had any issues with that line. So I'm the type of person that's, if it ain't broke, I don't try to fix it. If something's working, I don't change it. I apologize if that camera's moving. I'm sitting on my tailgate. Like I said, the camera's in the back of my truck, so I get tired of standing. Bugs sure are buzzing. Come on, dude. I just got them 2 green Madkatz goblin rods. I won those rods in the weekly big fish tournament on the weekly big fish tournament on oh, look. Got something. Oh, it's a big fish. Pull and drag. Might have a good flathead, it feels like. Don't get over here and get hung up. He's headed towards the bank. He got me in something. Feels like a pretty good fish. I mean, I don't think he's no giant, but fish. No, it's a blue cat. Not a bad one either. The way it's pulling, I thought it was a flathead at first. I got a blue one though. Hard to be by yourself. We got him. We got him. Not bad fish. Easy, bud. Keep it flying. I'll bear with you. Not the corner of his mouth. Good hook that. There you go. Good. There we go. That's why I like them mustad demon hooks. Like I said, he ain't no monster. It's a fish. Turn the headlamp off. Said he ain't no monster or anything, but well, he's an ornery son of a gun. I know that. That's him right there. I'll let him go. So there's another few of them. Caught him on a bluegill head. We can get a weight on him if y'all want to. Let y'all see how much it weighs. Scale. Fish grips are tarred out. $23. Whew. 23 pounds. That fish right there is ornery. Let y'all see it one more time. Nice blue cat. Go. And that was a turtle. That was a turtle down there picking that bait all to pieces. He done picked it to nothing. That blue cat hit what was left, that little bitty piece. Ooh, me. We'll get us another bluegill. We're just gonna cut the tail off of him right there. Bad boy thrown back out there. Well, we got the bad juju off of that rod. Wasn't no monster. He weighed 23 pounds. Like 23 point, I think it was 23.13 or something like that. I thought it was a flathead at first because it just kept it down. Never felt not a single head shake, and that's unusual for a blue cat. Most time a blue cat rolling and head shaking. Never did give me the first head shake. That's why I said I think it's a flathead. But 23-pound blue cat, at least we didn't get skunked. And hey, I don't know how good it turned out, but that's my first time ever catching a fish on video. I mean, and finally caught one on one of the new rods, so got the bad juju off of that one anyway. Like I said, it was on a bluegill head piece. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope you like it. Like I said, this is my first time doing a video, so it's probably going to be all over the place. I'm just going to post it like it is. I'm not going to do any editing on this one. Like I said, I'm just getting into this. If you like it, please hit the like button. If you want to see more videos as I make them, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching. God bless y'all. See you next time.